In this video, I'm going to be talking about what happens when you make a drawing and it completely bombs on the internet. I'm sure anybody who's clicked on this video has had it happen at least once, that you're working on a drawing and it's a masterpiece and it's your best drawing ever, and you post it online and it gets like 2 likes and you die a little bit inside and you're like, I'm never drawing again, man, this sucks. I know I should have gotten into professional skateboarding, but I'm going to be talking about kind of some of the pitfalls of that kind of mentality and what you can actually do to kind of combat that in a more positive way. So I'm going to get the first myth out of the way, and that's that fame will equal instant success. That is not true. I have actually had a couple of drawings that blow up in different places for different reasons, and it's for completely random reasons that you would think, oh yeah, this drawing gets 10,000 likes, so I'm going to get 10,000 new followers. Right? That's never the way that it ends up going. Having a large audience online will increase the likelihood of you getting more followers, but not if you don't put in the work. It's kind of like with music. If you find an artist who has one song that absolutely really slaps and then they have nothing else in their history and the last thing they uploaded was in 1980, you're probably not going to be very inclined to follow that person for more new stuff, right? You're going to like the song, maybe save it on Spotify and move on, but you're not going to follow the artist. However, on the other hand, if you're new to the party and you find this song that you really like, and then you find out about the band, and then you find out that that band has like 10 different albums full of songs that are absolute bangers, like banger after banger, and you're just like, yeah, dude, hell yeah, sign me up. And they're much more easy for you to follow. You got to wonder why. And why am I talking about music artists? Is because there's a direct correlation between that and visual art. If you make one drawing that somebody really likes and vibes with, they will leave a like and probably move on. Unless they're very generous and they hope the best from you and they'll say, I like this. They'll continue to make more things they like it in the future. Maybe. But if you actually have a bunch of different drawings back to back, banger after banger, that they'll just go, through your Instagram or your Twitter and they'll be like, yo, I like that drawing. And that drawing. And that drawing, they're probably going to be much more likely to follow you and like your stuff and stick around. So the best thing that you can do for consistency at that point is to keep doing what you're doing and do it genuinely. I know that a lot of people on the internet want to work with the work smarter, not harder mentality. So you'll follow the trends and you'll do what the algorithm likes, and you have search engine optimization, and they do all of that stuff. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. That's a really good thing. But you also want to make sure that you're doing something that you like to do and that you would like to do regardless of if people were engaging with it or not. If you like to do fan art, it would be better if you did fan art because you wanted to make fan art. Don't just make fan art for the sake of making fan art, because if you're having a good time making it and it does well, cool. If it doesn't, oh well, you just happen to have a drawing that you really like. Oh no. But if you make a drawing for other people that you think is going to get a big reaction, and when the whole time you're working on it, it feels like work, and then it bombs on the internet, you're probably going to get that sort of sour feeling of like, this sucks, dude. So the best thing you can do is, work on stuff that you're genuinely interested in. There can be a crossover between mainstream and what you want to do. It's really smart if you can do both, but just genuinely work on things that you want to do, because you don't want to pigeonhole yourself into I worked on a drawing of a furry once and now everybody follows me for furry art and now I have to do furry art. Not anything against them. It's just kind of as an example in saying like, okay, well, you built a demographic for furry art, but you actually like to do still life art. Not that the furry art is bad by any means, but you got a lot of attention from people you don't want to get attention from. You wanted to do still lives. It's best to just stick and work with the thing that you want to do, build your audience around the things that you genuinely want to do so you get the right kind of followers. And also another thing you can do is just to be consistent. A good example of this is when I started working on Painterly, because I used to do mostly anime style drawings and the traditional, cell shaded line art, that whole shebang. I moved on to a Painterly style, and at the beginning people are like, yo, what the hell is this? Unsubscribe. And at the beginning, they were really bad because I haven't done Painterly before. The drawings were terrible. But I knew that if I stuck with it little by little, I was going to get better. And sure enough, I did slowly, eventually get better. People started to find me, they started liking my stuff, and I kept working on the drawings. And even though none of them were technically by any means like a huge success online, I got my fair share of 1 or 2 likes. Sometimes I got no likes. I still get no likes. But when I was working on the drawings, it was, a personal challenge to me to try to get better. So I did like the art. It was something I made that I did feel like was worthwhile because I knew I'm new at this. It's going to suck for a while until it just doesn't suck anymore. But until I get to that point, I just got to trudge along and hope for the best. But eventually I made a really large collection of artworks, and I had gotten better to the point where I was starting to get happy with them. And even though they had not done that well online, I finally got into my first ever convention. So I was like, hey, I'm going to this convention. I have a lot of these drawings. I got to pick through a lot of different options. I had like 140 something drawings I had made in the span of 2 years. It was a lot. I finally took my bests, my highlights. I got them printed, and I went to my first ever convention like this, hoping for the best. And just seeing the reaction from a lot of people there, they're like, whoa, you drew these, holy crap, that's awesome, these are so cool. And people were around and they were buying your art and telling you that you're a really good artist and giving you a high five and also saying, god damn, she thick as fuck, boy. Because my art tends to be like that. But it was nice seeing that people in person actually genuinely had an appreciation and a reaction to my art. They really did like it. And that would have never happened if I would not have been consistent. My opportunity for it to blow up online completely fell flat, but that doesn't mean that the drawings were a failure by any means, because people who got to see them in person really appreciated them. I just needed the patience to see it wasn't going to be an instant in the now kind of success. And I feel like that's the best thing to keep in mind with the internet. It's very instant. It's very gratifying, like instantaneous, because it's meant to be like crack for your brain. It's for the next dopamine hit to say like another one. But sometimes you do need the patient or the hindsight or whatever to say like, this isn't working now, but that doesn't mean it won't work ever. The best thing you can do is like find other opportunities for your art to work. That could be through somebody asking you like, hey, can I use your drawing for a video music cover that I'm doing online? Or somebody saying, I really like your art. Do you do prints of this? Can you draw something for me? Because then bam, you start getting commissions. But in my case, the diligence had really helped out, because I went from 2 likes on the internet to I go to a convention, and with that convention I had 83 different drawings right from the get-go, because that diligence had paid off for me. So first ever convention, 83 different things just because of the sheer amount of work I had done. Like, that is a huge benefit, and I'm really glad that I stuck to what I was doing and didn't just give up because nobody on the internet liked my stuff, so I won't draw anymore. It did have a benefit just later. And then I made an art book, and then I started going to more conventions, and then I met a lot of other cool people. So it is like a, snowballing effect. And then I started collaborating with other artists, and, little by little things start taking off. But the best thing I could have done is have been consistent. So even though the drawings got 2 likes on Instagram or Twitter or Yelp, sticking around and doing your best work and being consistent, that's the remedy around it, because people won't instantaneously see your stuff. They might not instantly like your stuff, but you being diligent is the best thing you can do to increase your likelihoods of success. And also, the last thing is, you do not need a huge social media following to start making a living in art. Let people know that you're doing commissions. That's the best thing you can do. If you make your art as high quality as possible, if you're consistent about it, then people will be more likely to trust you. Because if you're completely sketchy, people aren't going to want to trust you with their money. That's just common sense. You don't go into a Starbucks and then maybe get a coffee 6 months from now. I know that art takes time, but that's kind of just getting to that point. So yeah, I pretty much the point I'm making in this video is, regardless of when your art is or isn't successful on the internet, that timeline doesn't really matter. The best thing you can do is just make the best quality stuff that you're happy with, even if there was no likes, even if it wasn't for the internet. If you're happy with it, that's the best thing you can do. And be consistent, because then you'll be like the music artist who's got like 10 greatest hits albums. People will find you by some miracle one day, and then they will actually want to follow you because, you had your one chance and you actually made it count. You made a really good impression. You put your best foot forward. So if your next 10 drawings don't get any likes, that's fine. Somebody will eventually find all 10 and like all 10, if that's really what you're after. But yep, that's my rant for this video. So I'll see you later. Bye. Also, on a side note, my commissions are open. This is actually one of them. This is a commission drawing I'm working on for somebody else. So if you're interested in getting one of your own, link is in the description. Okay, bye for real now.